Switch me on.
Are ya ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh!
Weekend harder.
Here I come.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I think he can hear you.
Don't move. It won't hurt you. Batman, what happened? Are you okay?
Fine.
Behold! Master!
Weekend harder.
Come into the coast, we get together, have a few laughs.
Hey everyone, and welcome to After the Weekend. This is Weekend Harder movie review special. That's a lot of words.
That is a lot of words.
Rick is kind of still under the weather,
I have the Koofalicious, I think.
so he's just gonna hang out there and be the nipple down there. And we got Beard of Liberty here with his. I swear, every Monday or Saturday, that thing is longer on your face.
Yeah.
Please don't flick the nipple.
It used to like reach this like max capacity and then it just wouldn't grow anymore. But I don't know. It decided to start growing again.
Yeah, well, looks good, and I'm sure you're back to, because I've noticed, because I've done it already, mowed my yard, so I'm sure you're back to mowing for everybody.
I've done that a few times.
Okay, that's good.
Wait,
That's
are you
good.
guys talking about grooming your genitals? What's going on? Mowing the backyard?
No, we're talking about this.
Ghost ride the whip, ghost ride the whip, ghost ride the whip, ghost ride the whip. Now scrape.
Oh, I thought you were trying to ask if Beard's drapes matches carpeting or something.
No, not at all. Well, anyways, we're gonna get through this show with kind of our sick R2, so we should be a fun.
Wah, wah.
I hope you feel better, by the way, by the end
Thank
of the
you.
night.
Pray for me, everybody. That's all I got to say.
Well, before we get started, because we are going to do our review, and we apologize for canceling on Monday. There was just a lot going on. So before we do our review of
Beard had to work around his hair schedule.
yeah. But before we review Police Academy, because that's what we're reviewing tonight, let's go ahead and say hi to some people. We got Miss R2. Is she feeling better?
She is. She's like one step above me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like in hierarchy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we've got Barry Place 28 saying, "Can you condense that intro?"
Why? I love it.
You know what he gets for that? Yeah, he gets
Boo this man.
Yeah, sorry.
This man.
If you don't like the intro, you can come in.
I do appreciate his sympathy, though. He did tell me to feel better soon.
Oh, he said it was a joke. Oh.
What? Get the hell out of here.
Oh, this is already gonna be a fun one tonight.
It is.
But yeah, we're gonna do Police Academy. But I wanted to make you laugh, Rick, because I knew you were kind of feeling kind of down in the weather. But I thought this would make you laugh because did you ever? Because we always review movies from the '90s, and the Police Academy was really kind of in the '80s, but they eventually went into the '90s. But there was a way to be cool in the '90s, like you had to say things.
You know that awesome or big time will get the point across as in, that was an awesome evening segment I just saw. Well, here are some other phrases you want to know if you want to be sure to sound hip in the 90s. Yo, a greeting.
Yo, Curb, what's up?
Said in amazement or disbelief.
Well, you know he's married. Clutch the pearls.
It's just wasted.
Yeah, but boy, did I get bucked. I sure felt it the next morning. That was really the worst thing I'd ever done.
I hope you didn't drive home.
No way.
MacGyver, as in the TV show where the impossible is often accomplished. I can't believe you got off that speeding ticket. What a MacGyver. Norville, to secretly undermine.
What? I can't believe she stole your job. You've really been Norville.
Or a real tough assignment. You get the analogy, right?
This job is a real grind. It's just a Black & Decker.
Some phrases may be around forever.
Well, look, I gotta run. Peace.
Bye, Tom.
One last word for words of the 90s. You got to remember that hip slang changes rather quickly, so if you want to use any of these phrases, you better use them in a hurry. I mean, think of Bart Simpson. Cowabunga is dreadfully out of date, hardly out of style, and you don't want to appear bizotic, do you?
Yes, slang does change quickly, like 30 seconds after airing that video. Good
I was
grief.
really hoping he was going to end it with "Word to your mother."
That's new slang you need in the '90s, since we like to review movies from the '90s.
Thank you from the whitest people you know.
MacGyvered it.
Again, this episode's going to be a real Black & Decker, isn't it?
And
just so you know, if you want to save that to your Instagram reels and watch it, there it is in the chat, and you can learn how to be cool. And I'm telling you, going forward on our show, we have to use those words like yo and
well, the audio on that old video is murky, so bucked did not quite sound like that, and especially followed up with it. I hurt so much. That was the worst thing I ever did.
Yeah, he got bucked.
He got bucked good, apparently.
That's what she said.
Michael.
See, that's out. That's probably outdated now.
That's what Mrs. said after our wedding night.
Okay. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed that, Rick. I wanted to make you laugh. Yes, but we are doing.
Thank you. It was great.
We are doing Police Academy. Police Academy 1. Oddly enough, they made 8 of these, and we'll go over those as well. But we're excited to do this and finally get this going. But this was a fun movie to watch again, and it was a fun movie to watch as a kid. Now, I always wanted to ask Beard, was this a first watch for you?
I am certain that I've seen at least most of the TV cut of this at some point.
Okay, yeah. This is another movie that usually was on TBS a lot. However, on TBS, it wasn't. It was very cut down on TV. There's quite a bit
Beard,
of.
I would like to congratulate you on seeing breasts for the first time.
It was a magical experience.
Yeah, he had. Oh yeah, you thought that was a magical? Okay. Are you talking about the scene with the shower where he's standing there like a creep, like smoking a cigarette and drinking a beer, watching the girls shower? Yeah. Yeah.
It's just everything they do is magic.
That's what he was thinking during that scene.
What's this movie rated again?
That's why this is Weekend Harder, Tom.
Yeah, this is rated. We were going to do it on Monday. We were going to make an exception because it was one of those movies. It's rated R. It's one of those movies where you were a kid, you kind of snuck off and watched, right? Because it wasn't that bad. like Total Recall. It was, it was pretty moderate, I guess.
It wasn't an alien with 3 breasts bad.
No, I mean, it was adult humor, but it was nothing more than like maybe like National Lampoons or something like that. So it's a fun movie. This is the original crew that you see here. A lot of them go on and do multiple movies in this theme of movies called Police Academy. And literally it is these group of people who are the biggest misfits, losers, klutzes in the city, and they're going to be cops. And they're being trained by really bad cops.
The opening text to this film talking about how the cities had reduced physical requirements, basically allowing anybody into the academy. That rings a little bit different these days.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's part of trivia, FYI. That little bit.
Okay, we won't ruin it for you. But we're doing something new here. Police Academy was directed by Hugh Wilson, written by Neil Israel, and then produced by Paul, I think it's Malansky, and then it was Warner Brothers, rated R, 1984, and it was an hour and 36 minutes. It was a quick movie.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
All the people here, though, this was definitely like it was Paul Malansky's kind of child here, bringing this film to the screen. Really, this was like his whole idea.
Yeah, it's a fun one because, like you said, Beard, they kind of lowered their standards because they needed like to fill seats or something. But you do get kind of the bottom of the barrel here. But then some of them turn out to be really good cops.
Yeah.
So they just needed a shot, right, to do something in their life.
Yeah.
So
by the time we get around to the end, there are a couple of very specific ones that, they get their chance and they prove themselves. It's nice.
Yeah, and they're all led by Mahoney there, and up in the upper top there. He's the main joker of the class, and it's Steve. Steve Gutenberg. He's fun. So here's the poster that you would see if you were in the movie theater or on the VHS. New police recruits, call them slobs, call them jerks, call them gross. Just don't call them when you are in trouble.
Just like modern police too.
Yeah, you are right. It literally lines up the movie there. It's a good poster.
Who knew this was going to be a premonition of the future?
Right. It's almost like Demolition Man.
It is.
And the poster's pretty funny because there's like a dog with a booze bottle, and then I think there's a guy laying on the ground back there. I'm not sure what's going on there, but
well, there's a lady's legs too behind Commandant Lassard.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, a lot of Johnsons in that picture.
Back when all the cadets had Johnsons.
Johnsons? Yeah, Johnsons.
That's a great part.
I'm sure this was eye-opening for Beard. And then you, Rick, you said when you were looking for pictures, you found this coin.
This challenge coin, yeah. And at first, I just thought it was some artwork, and then I actually noticed that it was like an actual legit coin, and it's been painted and enameled. I mean, it's pretty impressive. It's a unique thing to make. Like why the Police Academy challenge coin, but it's impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, it looks cool.
And I would definitely say, I mean, yeah, if you were a massive Police Academy fan, it would be a cool thing to own.
Yeah. Put it in your collection there, along with the giant gun from Tackleberry.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like your gun, Beard.
Which one?
One in the back there. But his is longer, right? I think his was a longer barrel.
Yeah, this actually was a police service gun. It was my uncle's when he first joined Houston PD back before they phased out all revolvers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's only a 357. I'm pretty sure in the movie it's a 44.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a collective of dorks in this movie, which makes it even funnier. Now when you when you first put this into, when was the last time you watched it? R2, has this been a while?
Oh yeah, it's been quite a while. I mean, almost 20 years, I would say it's been since I've really watched one of these films.
Did you know what I thought? He must have been in 2 or 3. I thought Wildcat was in this movie. He must have came.
Oh, Bobcat. Bobcat,
Yeah,
yeah,
Bobcat.
is in, I want to say 2 through 4. He's in 3 of them.
Okay, because I thought for some reason I thought he was in this one, and he obviously is not.
It's funny, as a growing up, my cousin Johnny looked a lot like Bobcat Goldthwait, minus the like receding hairline. It just was real pudgy like him. And then my grandfather on my mom's side looked too just like George Gaines, who was Commandant Lassard. Like if you put him in a back when they were fashionable, a one-piece jumpsuit, built-in belt, like that's what my grandfather wore like 90% of the time.
Okay,
I'm not kidding. Other than he wasn't nearly as tall as George Gaines, but yeah, that's it is. I look at that, I'm like, it's my grandpa.
That's pretty funny. Well, we're gonna do the numbers here because I don't know if we'll see how this did when it came out in 1984, because there was quite a few movies that came out in 1984.
11, 92, 12.
What was the budget and what was the box office? It was filmed May 30th through July 14th, 1983. And the box office, it was released on March 23rd, 1984. So not too far off from when they filmed. There wasn't a whole lot of special effects in this movie. I think there's actually a scene where they obviously put audio over the scene because they were running. It was when he was running after Mahoney was being told to chase at the police car.
Yeah.
And the dialogue is not them talking. It's like recorded over that. And it looks kind of off, but no, there's not any really special effects to this.
No.
And they had their own sound guy with.
Yeah, I was going to say they actually had a cast member who was the special effects.
Yeah. They got doubled. They got double dudes with that guy. So he got the actor and then the noise, the sounds of the movies as well.
Yeah. And as a kid, I was gonna say that, like as a kid, like I think every kid I knew loved Jones and was like, I want that to be my job. Just a guy who makes sound effects.
Oh, does the squeakies? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was good. He did that quite a bit. He was a comedian. We'll get to.
Yeah.
He was like a comedian that did that. So what was the box office? What was the budget? Beard, what is your guess?
I mean, it couldn't have been that much of a budget. This movie is basically like a series of sketch show scenes put together. So I kind of want to say like maybe way off on this because I have no idea how many of these names were like well known at the time, but like 8 million maybe.
8 million. Okay.
Maybe even that might be kind of high, but I don't really know.
I'm going. None of these people were real famous, by the way. I don't think so. I think this was right before Steve got famous. I'm gonna say 6 million. I'm going lower.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, like Steve Guttenberg was known at this time. He wasn't. I mean, he hadn't done like Short Circuit or anything yet, right? Kim Cattrall had done Porky's at this point. So again, she was another actress that she was known, but she was not at the height of her fame. Probably the most well-known person here was George Gaines, who was Commandant Lassard.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think a lot of these people were well known. So what was we got I got a 5 and an 8. Now this is your opportunity to comment in the chat what you think it is, and also if you're watching this later, put it in the comments. We'd love to hear what you thought it was. All right, here we go. It was 4.5 million.
Dang.
I was closer. And that would be 13 million today, or almost 14 million today. And it made worldwide, like I had to put that in there, 149 million.
There was two numbers I kept on finding. I kept on finding box office for just the U.S. and then worldwide. So if anybody wanted to comment on it, that's what I went with.
So people kind of thought it was funny. I mean, that's a huge.
That's a. This is definitely one of our most successful films we've reviewed here in terms of just what it made back financially. I mean, that's huge.
I know what we're going to see. What else was in the theater in a minute, but I can't help but think that this probably had a slow start. I mean, I'm kind of thinking that this must have spread by word of mouth.
So I want to say it did domestic. It was like 92 million is what it did.
Okay.
So with the worldwide, that was probably heavily, mainly just Europe. I'm going to imagine too at this point that probably was really seeing this. Europe, maybe Central South America, possibly, but most of that is going to be.
I'm wondering what the U.S. number was.
I can give you that here real quick. 81. So yeah, I was.
I mean, it still made money.
Yeah, so I mean, nearly doubled. It's
I would
international. Yeah. So internationally, it nearly doubled what it made basically.
The first time I watched this movie was on a VHS, so it wasn't. I didn't get to see this in the movie theater, but I'm sure people thought it was hilarious, and then they just kept going back. Right? We're telling people about it. It's a funny. It's a short, funny movie about cops doing stupid stuff. So good things. This is the cast. There's Michael Winslow there, the LeVar Jones. He's the sound maker. Again, he used to do comedy tours where that's what he did. And then you've got Leslie Easterbrook. That's Debbie Callahan. Now she doesn't look like anything from the movie that she did from the movie, but from that picture, she was fun. She was the busty.
Yeah. She was the very dominating.
She reminded me of. She also. She looked like the lady from Beverly Hills Cop 2.
A little bit, yeah.
The blonde.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's kind of sad though. Like, almost half of everybody that we're looking at has passed away.
Yeah.
Bubba Smith has passed away. Ted Ross, I believe. David Graff has.
Ted Ross has a mustache, man. Holy cow.
Yeah. Hooks has passed away. George Gaines has passed away. George Martin has passed away, and same thing with the commissioner. Has all since passed away.
Yeah, it's wild. Now Steve Cooper, he went on to do other things too. Like you said, he did Short Circuit. He did 3 Men and a Baby. He did some other things later on, but he was kind of like that comedy.
He was, he was very much kind of and this was somebody who was actually considered for the role. At the same time, it was Tom Hanks. But him and Tom Hanks were very similar in terms of just characters that they portrayed.
I mean,
this would have been weird with Tom Hanks.
Yeah. I mean, just because they have curly hair doesn't mean they're the same actor.
No. What I'm saying though, if you look at like what they did in the 80s,
yeah,
it was they played a lot of very similar roles.
Well, Steve, he was that wisecracker kid, smartass. Like at the beginning there, when they show him at the parking lot, right? When he's
Yeah.
just put it somewhere. When he's trying to
Right.
park the car. Yeah. And he somehow gets it on 2 wheels and parks it.
I love that.
And then he was so determined to so Ted Ross was the guy he kind of knew Steve's. I think he must have.
He was his dad.
What?
It was his dad in the movie. We don't meet him, but
right. But Steve's seems like he was kind of like the troubled kid that was kind of in and out of trouble a lot, right? And it seems like he knew Ted Ross, like they knew each other, like they were like somehow related somehow through either their dad, or he just knew that look, you're causing all kinds of trouble and you should do something different. And so he puts him in the police academy, and Steve's like, I got to get out of here. I don't want to be here. And he wants to get kicked out, but he can't because
because they've been instructed that he has to stay there, and but that doesn't stop him from doing just absolutely every single thing wrong and annoying.
The captain makes him think that he can leave. He's like, just try it. Like give it a shot and try. Like I dare you to even like attempt to go through being in the police academy. And then he finds out that he can't. But it's almost like, I mean, they kind of did this back, I want to say, like in the 40s and the 50s, where like if you were maybe a troublemaker, they would go, okay, you can either serve time or you can go into the armed services.
Yeah. I can see that. And then, but he then falls in love with Kim Cattrall, and it's almost
the thighs. Like show me the thighs.
It's almost like a rom-com.
Almost
a rom-com. And he now decides that he kind of changes his heart after that, not just because of the girl, but he kind of likes being a cop, right? He kind of likes being.
It's when they all get called in to kind of do perimeter support for riot control. No,
it's even before that, because it's even before that because he likes the people that he's with, right? He likes the group, right? There's a couple people in there, the guys that got sent to the gay bar, he doesn't like, but he likes his team, and he understands. Okay, look, they'll look out for me if I look out for them, and then he has a change of heart to where he kind of sticks up for, what was the character's name? They got beat up in the cafeteria.
The heavier set guy, right?
Right. So he gets in a fight with the two
Barber.
Liz.
Yeah. And
he fights him, and then Hightower's on his way out too, because he also had a disagreement with those two knuckleheads. And I think Reed wanted them to do that so he can get them kicked out. He didn't want these.
Which I won't say the dialogue, but some of the dialogue in here from these characters that we're supposed to hate is incredibly racist, but it's actually becomes a story beat. You wouldn't be able to do something like that today, even if it was a story beat, because people they'd get so fixated on that they wouldn't care about character development or story or progression like that. So later on, when Hightower stands up for Hooks, he flips a car over with the dude inside that slung that word at her, and he gets kicked out immediately. And you know what? I like that little bit of story. Yeah. Obviously, it's terrible that for that to be used actually in the real world, but it worked for the story.
It did, and that's kind of like Steve's like, what the heck's going on here? So he kind of sticks up for both of them. How's it going?
Well, I was gonna say, like too, like you said, like there's a fair amount of stuff like you just couldn't do today, but like the chief in the beginning, who's like they were all the same color, they were all the same religion, they all had Johnsons. and
Oh,
just
yeah.
you couldn't say that. And even too, like the whole like sending them to like the gay bar.
Yeah.
And it's funny too as a kid, like I didn't realize that's what was going on. I just thought they were
You just thought it was a bunch of dudes dancing with each other.
just guys that like to wear leather and dance together. But just, like that scene always cracked me up as a kid though too. Like just
It's just where gruff bikers go to let
but
loose.
like as a kid, like that was always my fear too. I was like, stay away from a guy like that because he's gonna want to dance with me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't really get that reference either till you're older, but
Like if Beard ever throws a leather jacket on, I'm staying 20 feet away.
I've
Oh
got
my
one
gosh.
over there.
A leather jacket and aviators on.
So yeah, that I mean I get it. That's funny. But
That and when I found out the name of the song that they dance to, by the way, do you know what it's called?
no.
Yeah, that song.
One?
It's called La Bimbo.
Nice. Relax is also the beginning song of this movie.
That is.
Yeah. So yeah, he ends up liking the group. Steve ends up character Mahoney ends up liking the group that he wants to be with, and he wants to kind of stick with it. So he sticks. He says, "I'm the one who fought in the cafeteria," and then right before he gets kicked out, yes, there is a riot, and he sneaks on the bus to help his crew. And that riot scene was kind of funny, right? Because kind of reminds you of a few years ago where it was like, oh, free TVs, and how it just starts with like a random event and kill the cops. It's like, geez, it's almost like a premonition.
It's like, I think it was Fackler that like the cop that he's riding
Oh,
with
yeah, he
brings
throws
him an
the
apple.
apple.
And he's like, I don't want this. He throws it out, hits some dude. He turns around, sees some dudes carrying apples. That starts fight, knocks things down, and then
that's how riots start, by the way.
But and speaking of who wouldn't fall for Kim, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I would have taken Callahan over Kim Cattrall.
Why not both?
Yeah, why not both? Or all three with the soft-spoken one. What about the guy dressed up that like a woman to get in the female dorms? Yeah, that was pretty funny too. But then he ends up going to Callahan's place because she ends up really liking him. And that guy was funny too. That was the guy that faked his Spanish accent so that way
Yeah.
get the ladies.
Like I'm just George Martin, but there's George Martin.
Yeah, and he changes his stuff. I thought that was pretty funny.
That was pretty good too. Like he gets him, and then the kind of the two guys who are like kissing all the officers' butts. They get sent to get their hair cut, and
yeah,
they get like full on military cuts, and the guy's like, just take a little off the sides, and they're like, you can do that, and he's like, yeah, it's not the Marines,
and everybody else has regular haircuts. Yeah. This was a fun scene here on the right where Commandant is going to do the speech, and Mahoney hides a lady of the night under there to give him some loving, and that's a funny scene, right? I don't think I think that would be a way overdone today.
Yeah. Well, I actually, during my research, I toned down some trivia, but the lady who plays the Lady of a Night was an actual adult actress.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah, he gets a little favor there, and it's funny because he thinks it's Mahoney because Mahoney's under there with the girl.
Good speech.
And then the whole rest of the movie is kind of like, oh my god, what did I do? And then then he returns the favor, I guess, later in the movie, which is also kind of weird. And
yeah, he runs
funny.
into Lieutenant Harris and tells him, "You need to get rid of Mahoney now." What'd he do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, this movie is full of little gags like this. Like even the one in the upper left corner there, or the guy's underneath Callahan's legs, he gets like flipped over because she's showing him how to do it. And after he does that, she goes, "Who's next?" And then every guy Mike says, "Yes, please."
Well, then you see like Mahoney and George Martin. They're like, both of us. Just take both of us.
I know. Yeah, a bunch of hooligans, but good stuff. Good fun. Good fun is actually really. It's all in good humor. Is really what it is. But you're right. This movie probably wouldn't really. It would either overdo a lot of this stuff, or it wouldn't happen. I would say.
Yeah.
So okay, we're gonna do I think we're doing in the theaters next. So let's see what came out with this. I think Beard said you remembered some from before. Like, I think we've seen some of them before.
We've kind of circled around a lot of films that came around at the same time at this point. If you go back and watch,
let's see what we've got here.
Shut your drums and stop kicking us face! We're trying to watch the movie!
Okay, so Police Academy was on the top of the list for the week. Came out on top. It beat Splash. And then we did this movie the other day. And where is it at? Did we? Where is it at?
I don't see.
We did something the other day that was close to this, but I think it came out later.
The week late. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We haven't done any of those movies yet, but yeah, Police Academy is number one. We got Racing with the Moon that also came out with it. But there you go. It was number one movie.
Ice Pirates was there though. When I'm trying to think of what that movie was that we did.
Oh, I don't remember, but I think you're right. I think it came the week after. So because Splash, I remember Splash
was Romancing the Stone.
Oh,
yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm like, what else did we do from '84?
That was a few weeks ago. So again, some good comedies on here, right? And they still beat it out. So good job.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I kind of expected it would start out a little bit less than that, but that's actually a pretty strong start.
So it started at the top and kept on going. So that's pretty cool. And I mean, maybe one day we'll do some of these movies, but I mean, I don't know. Which one would you want to do on this list, Beard?
Ice Pirates.
Okay. All right. If you want Ice Pirates, you can have Ice Pirates.
I was gonna say,
I've never seen it, but I've heard about it.
I was the big kind of key to, I always feel like it's right. How many theaters did it open up in? And I mean, other than like Footloose there, I don't know what the heck Tank is. That almost said as many as Footloose, but
it wasn't quite. It wasn't a that.
But I mean, like being in like at least 1,000 theaters seems to give you pretty good odds of earning a good box office.
Yep. I mean, the other one was only in almost 400, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
How do you know that, R2?
How do I know what?
That was from back when you were discussing, I think, the takedown moves or something around there is when it came up.
You might have to explain yourself, Jacob. Okay. Well, real quick, right into the movies trivia here.
Surprise!
Yeah, that's okay. We'll just go ahead and do this then.
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
I'm ready to get down with the trivia here.
Bear with me in my voice.
Do you want me to read these and you kind of like elaborate?
Sure. Go ahead.
Or Beard, you can do some of them too if you want. According to our last short, you replaced
Beard has a lovely singing voice, so why don't you have him do this one?
Producer Paul Molansky got the idea for the film while making the right
stuff.
Have you seen that movie, The Right Stuff, Beard?
I haven't seen that in a long time.
It's like an astronaut movie. It's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's the guys who broke the sound barrier.
Oh, all right.
Sonic Boom.
Yeah, boom. Bada bing.
Boom.
A group of police A group of police cadets arrived to help with a crowd control while filming a street scene in San Francisco. Okay. Cool.
Mhm.
What was this about, R2?
Well, it's the whole thing. You got to read it.
Oh, you have a... Okay. When the cadets piled out of the bus to take their post, they were diverse men and women, tall, fat, short, skinny, white, black, Asian, and Latino. The cadets all proved to be fumbly
Fumbling inept.
and their assigned task of keeping members from the public away from the set. Okay. So is this like a real thing here? Is this really
Yeah.
happening?
This is like the
Yeah.
whole story behind the idea of police
As
academy.
Molansky witnessed a exasperated superior officer, a very red face, chewing out two sputtering recruits, a lady weighing over 200 pounds, and a flabby man of well over 50 years old. Wow, this is like the real police academy.
Yeah.
Both were basically trying to rationalize their incompetence. Molansky found it humorous, asking a sergeant, "Are these cadets going to be future San Francisco PD's finest?" The sergeant, what?
That's like a gut punch.
I know. The sergeant told him they had a equality opportunity hiring policy. We have to take all who applies into the academy for training, but we can flunk them out in 2 weeks. It got Molansky thinking, what if they don't want to be flunked out? What if some guy or girl wants to stay in? That night, he wrote a 2-page treatment and gave it to executive producer Alan Ladd Jr., who loved the idea and agreed to develop the movie.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, this.
You
this
didn't
was all-
warn me about this one. I thought these were little facts here.
Oh no. I was spacing it out just to make reading it easier instead of like just having it be,
So this was a real thing. That you
Yeah.
witnessed.
Yeah. That this guy did, and this was his kind of baby out of all the people who worked on it. I mean, he was the producer, pretty much on all of the films.
So he actually saw this in real life in San Francisco.
Yep. And I was gonna say, do you know who the mayor was at the time?
Of San Francisco?
Yeah, when he would have been there. This was all Dianne Feinstein.
Oh. Okay.
All right.
It was all her initiative. Which is just very funny because thinking of how San Francisco still is
Today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so this must have been in the early 80s then.
Yeah. So The Right Stuff was made in 82.
Okay.
Yeah. It came out in 83, but the production was in 82.
Well, since I know the context of this now and I didn't read it later, I might have to read it again so that way we can use it as a real short. Or you can.
Okay.
I think it's a fascinating story. It's pretty funny that
it is. It is. And I mean,
was
like,
real.
I tried to condense this as best as I could too, to fit the page because there was a little bit longer, but
Jacob says Tank is a James Gardner movie about a guy that goes off after a corrupt sheriff with a tank. After the sheriff kidnapped his son.
I think he was saying, how do I not know that? Yeah, I've never heard of Tank before.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay. Never mind.
I gotcha.
All right, Beard, you're doing the second page.
All right, let me make this a little bit larger here so I can read it.
Individual
Getting old,
just
my eyes are
trivia
good.
bits.
All right. After early test audiences responded most positively to Hightower out of all of the characters, Bubba Smith was moved to second billing just behind Steve Guttenberg.
Yep.
Interesting. In addition to playing Jones, Michael Winslow also supplied the voice for all public address announcements heard at the Academy.
Hey, see, I told you they hired a
Yeah.
sound guy. There's even a part in that movie where he goes, "Is that you? No, that wasn't me.
Yeah, I like
This
that.
is a real thing."
That's when they get summoned to go out to the riot.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah. The only Police Academy movie that was given an R rating and also the most successful of the series at the box office.
Yeah. We're gonna go over those here in a little bit. So.
After that, all we get is wet T-shirt scenes.
And that just doesn't sell tickets quite the same.
No.
The term tackleberry has become a standard in the private security industry to denote an officer who's inordinately fond of firearms and other high-tech equipment.
Nice.
Show us your tackleberry.
It's right there. Let's see. Lieutenant Harris's trademark stick was not originally in the script. The prop was brought onto the set by an extra who gave it to G.W. Bailey to keep.
Huh.
It's funny because that was something that stuck with him the whole time. That I was like trying to figure out, like, what the hell do you call that? Is it a baton? Is it a stick?
A switch.
Is it a riding crop?
Well, no, because it didn't have like anything at the end. It just had. It was like a stick, and then it had like the brass ball at the end.
Yeah, but he would do the cool things. Like he was so annoying with it. He would like tap the.
But yeah, I'm like, it's not like it's like a conductor wand or something like that. Like, yeah, I'm like, I don't know what you would call that, and like,
whatever it is, it added to his character.
But it did, yeah.
It did.
Let's see, where am I here? Michael Winslow Jones, David Graff, Tackleberry, and George Gaines, Commandant Lassard, are the only actors who appeared in all 7 Police Academy movies. Winslow goes even further, as he is the only actor who not only appeared in all 7 films, but also had a regular role on Police Academy, the series.
TV show, yeah.
Yeah, this is that time period where they'd put out an R-rated movie and make a kid's cartoon out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was an animated series of this, but yeah.
And the role of Commandant Eric Lassard was written with Leslie Nielsen in mind, and I could totally see that.
Yeah,
it would have been good, but I mean, I don't know, just because he was always there. I still love George Gaines in the role and his many, many, many wonderful moments.
Yeah.
Not only, there's one last thing that I left out here. Not only was Tom Hanks, but Michael Keaton and Judge Reinhold were also considered for Mahoney, along with Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Steve Guttenberg was better.
I could see Judge Reinhold doing it, but I don't know about anybody else in that group.
See, I was gonna say I could see Michael Keaton doing it, but like how much it would have changed his career.
Yeah, he probably would have not been Batman.
No, I don't think so.
I wonder if he did Mr. Mom around this time. All right, so we're gonna try something new on the show. Since we had our good buddy and friend over there at Criticless, we're gonna share our Criticless review.
Blaine.
Yeah, Blaine. We're gonna bring it on. We're gonna show you what we kind of did, what we think of the movie live. So it's Police Academy, like I said, 1984. So we're gonna rate it, and we're gonna do it as a group here. So I'm gonna like take this bar here. I'm gonna slide it, and you're gonna either tell me to stop or slow down or speed up. So we going heinous, like just horrible, bogus, this decent, rad, or most excellent. So what are we doing here?
I'd give it 65.
Ooh, Beard. Are you agreeance with rad? You're on mute.
Sorry, I was thinking a low rad.
Okay, like so you're like a 60, 62, 63.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Okay. I say we end up with 65 there. It's a rad. What do you want to rate the graphic language on this movie since it's rated R?
I mean, it does have some.
It has some racial slurs. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
We'll just put it at a. I'm gonna put it at.
I actually expected it to have more than it did.
Yeah, it's true. They definitely a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have how much violence there is, gunplay. So, but it's not a lot of violence. So we're just.
I would say a little bit more, yeah. In terms of
the... This one's sexual or nudity. It's pretty moderate. It's not It's not.
You
too
could put it between the two there.
Yeah, we could go right there. How about that?
Might need to add some details later.
You see nipples.
Yes.
And have that be a quote from R2.
All right. Political bias. I really don't rate it on this one, but I mean, I kind of skipped this one. But
It was well, it wasn't like I wouldn't call it leaning to anything.
Right.
Yeah, even though it was kind of a commentary on a real life event, if you don't know that, it just stands on its own as a
But
story.
it didn't lean towards, though. You couldn't really
Yeah.
say that like it leaned to left or right either.
So I'm gonna say it's slightly family friendly.
I would put that in the middle though, of slightly.
Between slightly and
no, yeah, between slightly and no, like right there. No, like put it up like 2 above that. Because it's a no. No, to the right.
Oh, okay.
Right there. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, it's still not highlighting slightly.
It's fine.
There you go. There you go.
Almost slightly.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. We'll put in our full. We'll edit this later, but there's our full review, and I'll put in the link of our video. But yeah, there you go. Our first live critic list.
It has the nipples.
Yeah, that's gonna.
And
be fun.
if people want to check that out or create their own profile, I'll put the link in the chat.
Yeah, it's a great app. If you love movies and you kind of want to record your own library of what you watch and what you think of it, it's a great way. But I mean, I do love those little settings that he has. I think that's really helpful.
Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to go over, because I was so curious, but we said there were so many others of these. So there was a series. So yeah, we have the list here. So there's Police Academy, and then Police Academy 2, their first assignment. There was Back in Training. It was 3, 4, Citizens on Patrol. Now, I remember seeing this one in the movie theater. I didn't go to the movie theater, but I remember going to a different movie and seeing the cutout of that movie. Like, what's that?
Okay.
That's when I'm like, what's Police Academy? And
I want to say Sharon Stone is in the 4th one.
Yeah, and then we got Assignment to Miami Beach, number 5.
Yeah, that's when we lose Mahoney.
Yep. And then we've got 6, City Under Siege, and then Mission to Moscow. And I believe there's also an 8th.
No.
Okay.
There was a TV show, and there was an animated series too.
Okay, so they were thinking of doing an 8, but it never happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. If you wanted to,
and a reboot has been talked about for 20 years now.
Yeah. So if you want to go down the gauntlet, that's the order. There's no other order to watch them in, but you can do that. So, and it was fun trying to see those lists, but I do remember Citizens on Patrol in the movie theater, like actually seeing a poster for that one. Or
I know I've seen a couple others similar to this, like the TV cuts when I was a kid, but I couldn't tell you which ones they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, these were shown on TBS quite a bit, and especially I want to say
I think 2 was showed a lot more.
Well, I was going to say, if anything, almost I would say 3, 4, and 5 have probably been shown the most on TV of any of them. And because I remember like the Miami Beach one, that's the one where there's a shark shows up and Tackleberry points a gun at its head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you expect anything less?
No.
We do have a couple things to mention. I have a couple things to go over before we wrap up the night. Unfortunately, I wasn't a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. I don't know if you were, Beard. Were you?
Yes, wasn't my first anime, but it definitely kind of was the more of a gateway to get me more into it.
Right. And Beard, were you a fan of the Dragon Ball Z?
I think
You
you
mean
are
R2?
too.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, Beard again twice.
Oh my God.
No, I mean, I was very aware of the Dragon Ball series, and I had friends that were into it. I just never did. You know.
Well,
But,
he the creator of that massive anime unfortunately passed away this week. And it's just I'm gonna butcher his name, but I think it's. Can you say it, Beard, for me? Can you?
Here, bring it back
Akira,
up.
Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, Akira Toriyama.
Which I'm sure that's still very Americanized, but that's how
Akira
I think most
Toriyama.
people know him.
Yes, so he died at 68. It's a real
Still
bummer.
very young.
Very young. But he made it. What a creation that he created, right? I mean, this is Dragon Ball Z is was like his equivalent. I would to some, it's almost like as big as like Mario Brothers or Mickey Mouse, some of those cartoons. So it's a huge thing. So it sucks that we lost a creator like that, but hopefully he's doing better. The other so that's just it's nice to see. But another thing that really made me I really wanted to talk about this on Monday, but we didn't get a chance. A close friend of the community also, unfortunately, I'm gonna hopefully leave it on a good note, but after these two stories, but a good friend of ours lost a good friend of his, and she was a friend of the channel. She came by a few. This was Dawn. Yeah. She did kind of.
She was so sweet and kind, and if you were, like a regular, especially with like Jay, she always said hi to you. Every time you came in, she would be the first to say hello and greet you in those chats.
Yeah,
and
she was always fun.
And she was in, Tom over at Rogue Attraction, another good friend of ours. She was in his chats a lot too, and same thing. Every time I popped in there, if she was there, she would say hi to me. And it's very sad that Dawn's never going to say hi to any of us again.
Yeah. It's a bummer. She was such a sweet lady, and we liked her coming by, even hanging out. She came by every once in a while, but she always said hi. So
she was, and that little bit. I mean, we always appreciated that, and I appreciate it even more now. She is a big fan of Gina Carano and Cara Dune, and Gina wrote a very touching
she did
message to her that I thought was very sweet as well. And I know Dawn probably would have loved it too. So
yeah, she was a good person. So Jay, if you're watching, I know sometimes you watch. I do know. We wish you. I wish your friend the best up where she is now, and I pray for her family and you, because I know you're probably hurting. So
yeah. Well, I posted on After the Weekend. I just said, she's gone, but she'll never be forgotten. We'll never forget Dawn.
Yeah. Well, I do have something other to put some smiles on people's faces before we wrap it up here. And it's all about being cool. So
I was hoping for boobs.
Oh, well, this lady has boobs. I mean, so this is how to be hip hop.
I would like better how you first said it. This is how you be hip hop.
Ahead. You don't want to do that. You want to turn your feet out. I'm going to do this backwards. And that's what makes it look like hip hop. What this is with hip hop is everything's down low. It all is in a plie. I think the first thing that you need to know about hip hop, it's all about your posture. And growing up, my posture was really bad. My mom used to tell me all the time, stand up straight, stand up straight. Well, you know what? I was standing up straight. And hip hop is this. 1, 2, 3, 4, hit, and The more relaxed you are, that's what makes it hip hop. This is the first thing I will say to you. You want to do hip hop? You got to stand like this. In a hip hop head, we have this. Boom, bam, every time. Or Your hands are always, ah. Hey, I'm Dina.
So she's teaching us hip hop, and she is this white lady with a clear Southern heritage.
All I
That
can
was
think
hard to
of
watch.
is South Park and just you can't become a Crip, you're born a Crip.
So today you learned on the show how to talk cool
Jimmy.
and how to be hip hop and be cool. So Beard, I want you to use that.
I can't imagine myself actually doing that.
Speaking of hip hop, what was it? Mando streaming earlier, and she's like rolling dice on YouTube. She's like, "Come by," and I'm like, "Where's the cardboard?" I'm like, "Nobody's making any money here."
Yeah, Southern lady hip hop.
Like this is not throwing dice.
Well, I thought those would make you laugh for everyone here. But alrighty, everyone. I think we're gonna wrap it up. But this was fun reviewing a rated R movie on Weekend Harder. And we'll probably do more of these. And then I think next Monday we are reviewing another cop movie because it is cops on ATW. We were going to review, I think, Rush Hour, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so that should be a good one. And that came out, I think, in the early 2000s? No, late 90s, I'm guessing, right?
Part of me goes, should you show one of the many clips I made for it?
Did you upload it?
I didn't upload it. It's just in our chat, but...
Okay, hold on. I'll get there. I know you're not feeling well, so you didn't say anything, so it's okay. Let's see here.
Yeah, it was 98.
Which one do you want me to play?
Whichever one's gonna make Beard the most uncomfortable.
The whitewashed Rush
here
Hour.
Here we go. So we're gonna review Rush Hour, and we're gonna give you a little sneak peek at some of the clips here. So make sure there's sound on. There we go.
Well, not that yet. Which one of y'all kicked me?
I thought it was only fitting that Ryan got his revenge on you for punching him.
Yeah, here's another one. Here's the other one here.
You showed like the last one.
No, I'm gonna show. Okay, we'll show all of them.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Give me my.
This is a special treat for everybody who stuck with us.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Clean yourself. You did.
Here we go. I wasn't sharing it.
Oh, hell no. If you didn't just touch my goddamn radio. Beach Boys is great American music. The Beach Boys gonna get you a great ass. Do that and get your ass.
This is how Beard really is behind the scenes. I just want everybody to know.
It's because he knows hip hop and he knows how to talk cool. It's because he knows real hip hop. All right, enough picking on Beard. Now we get to pick on you.
Yeah. I get to play the bad guy in this one.
All right. Cool. $50 million.
I want 20 million in 50.
20 million in 50.
20 million in 20.
20 million in 50. You want any fives with that?
What is your name?
What's your name, man? You called us. Why you don't know my name?
Beard says the same thing when you call him too. Like, what's your name? What's your name? You call me first, man.
Yeah, that's when Chris Tucker was funny. So we'll be reviewing Rush Hour on Monday night. And Beard, are you doing anything before then?
No. Actually, have a day off tomorrow.
Good job. I will most likely, I think I might be doing a game stream late at night, continuing the Uncharted series over there at Late Night with Cap. And then I'm also going to be a guest again on the Popcast Bros. I'm helping out Brian over there while his brother is on the mend. Rick, I think we'll see you Monday, right? Hopefully you feel better.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be on camera. That's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, Rush Hour is going to be a lot of fun. That's a great film.
It is. It'll be fun. And we have a very nice surprise for the end of the month. So we're not going to ruin it, but it will be fun. I'll tell you that much. All right, everyone. Thanks for sticking out with us with this movie review, hanging out with Nipple R2 and Beard. We always like to embarrass you. So, all right, everyone.
Somebody's got to be the butt of the joke.
Show us the thighs.
Truck to refrigerators to dumpster, 360 spin onto the palace, backflip gainer into the trash.
This is it. Man, big stuff. Just relax and have fun. Just gonna have fun with it.
Talking away. I don't know what to say. I'll say it anyway.
I'm not
Today's another day.